time is running short, though, so we have to jump to the other shows for the week. We have AEW Dynamite on the heels of Double or Nothing. Some of the highlights from this show: Brian Cage made his Dynamite debut in the ring with Moxley on commentary and Taz out there as his second. What do you think about the pairing of Cage and Taz? I know a lot of people. I like it. Just to go off the top there, I'm a huge Taz mark. I always have been, and I like the usage of the Path of Cage in sort of a ripoff of the Path of Rage that Taz did, and the usage of beat him if you can, survive if he lets you. It's great, underrated catchphrase in pro wrestling. I did see some funny stuff online though with the Mom, can we watch Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman? And it's like, Mom, we have Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman at home, and it's Taz and Cage. I would almost just drop the Brian from it. I liked him when he was just the Machine Cage, or they call him Cage. And I also think that, we need to get Melissa Santos over to AEW Stat, because I like hearing Brian Cage or Cage being announced as from the 559. That's what I want to hear when Cage comes to the ring. So make it happen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder if her imminent appearance on AEW is in the near future. I know they have a baby, right? They're still a fairly young child, so maybe she's trying to be the stay-at-home mom right now. But yeah, I wonder if down the road would they let her come out and maybe Taz is the manager and then she's like his like
a personal ring announcer.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be kind of cool. So
that's what I was thinking about too. Although it is important to note the Cage is in fact not actually from the 559, but that's just was a misnomer that just sort of stuck with him while he was in Lucha Underground. But I want him to be from, the character could be from the 559.
And
but what did you think of his debut and Mox on commentary?
I thought it was great. I mean, it just Cage with the squash in the match, but just immediately calling out Moxley and Moxley talking S to him, and I
thought Mox was a little too sarcastic at the start. What's Taz's role? Those are questions that need to be answered. It's like, to again quote Scott Hall, like, who really talks like that? Like, I just didn't believe that Mox believed what he was saying on commentary for a good portion of the match.
Well, I just liked when he says, "Hey, JR, you want a mule?" And they're like, "No, it's under the table," or whatever. They were just like poking fun. So it just sounds like they're all having fun with each other. That's something that, from that perspective. But that was cool. It's building up to the eventual match against each other at Fyre Fest, even though there's no date and time set for that eventual next pay-per-view. But, it's a match that we didn't really think would happen a year ago, 2 years ago, which each of them were busy at different promotions. So it's kind of a little bit of a dream match. And that's the cool thing with these guys all appearing on AEW. And now AEW just had a very in-depth roster now. So it's exciting to see that.
And it just got to shout out Cage too. Like, he looks like how a wrestler is supposed to look.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is an absolute specimen. If he were maybe 3 inches taller, I think he'd be champion in WWE right now. And that's not to say that he won't accomplish great things in wrestling outside of it. Look, I loved him in Lucha Underground and beyond there. But he is a specimen. I'm excited for him to be in AEW. I think he is a great get for their brand, and I'm excited about all the things that he's going to do with them. Yeah. Cody Rhodes issued an open challenge for the TNT Championship, the unfinished TNT Championship, as it were. But again, continuing on with the storyline from Double or Nothing, and just how cool it is that he is the first champion. I love the in-ring segment with him and Tony Schiavone. And the fact that the open challenge is open to people not even with AEW, but the first challenger, as we found out later on in the show, would be Jungle Boy. What's just your thoughts on that whole situation?
And that was great. I for the most part, enjoy Cody's promo, just acknowledging that he wants to be like the workhorse, the working champion, and wants to defend it every week. So kind of bringing some credibility to that title and how it's very important just for – it's almost like a TV title as far as it's going to be defended every week on TNT. And the open challenge, obviously, that's kind of been like a very simple, easy formula, successful formula for the most part in other promotions. As far as him opening up to outsiders, I think that's great too, because I was a little concerned when you open up to like defend it every week. theoretically you could kind of burn out through the roster pretty quickly. So the fact that he's opening up doors, so maybe this is a way to give people who are maybe unemployed right now or not working because of the pandemic an opportunity to at least maybe get one payday. So I'm thinking from more of like a business standpoint. So that invite to anyone. I mean, you saw Jeff Cobb. I think his contract with Ring of Honor just wrapped up or is wrapping up. So he did a couple appearances with AEW. I don't know what his status long-term is, but that's an example.
Wasn't he in the Inner Circle?
Yeah, I mean, he only did 2 appearances. So I don't know what happened. Like, it was like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. But hopefully.
Incredible member outside of Jericho in the Inner Circle.
Yeah. But nonetheless, I'm just saying, like, so maybe there are some free agents. There are a lot of free agents right now. So maybe there's an opportunity to get people in and, give them like a one-time payday.
It'll be a good way to pay off a surprise, too. If you have some outsiders come in, they don't win, they go their separate ways or whatever. But if you want to have somebody make a splash in their AEW debut and win the Open Challenge, and then they're with AEW long-term, it'd be a good way of doing it. I always have had a soft spot for like the TNT, not the TNT, the TV title, sort of way of it being defended every week. I think that's something that we talked about a long time ago about doing that for, when Brock Lesnar had the championship. You have a TV champion, so you have a major title being defended every week, and that way, maybe it sort of lessens the void of your number one championship not being defended every week or not as present. And so I like it conceptually quite a bit. I think one of the main things that obviously people will take away outside of the main event segment, though, is the arrival of FTR in AEW. I thought it was a good segment that they debuted in. I like the old school truck that they came down. I thought it was a very good introduction for them onto the AEW scene. To be honest with you, I wasn't expecting it quite so soon, and it was a nice surprise. Like I don't go looking for spoilers because I like to be surprised still. I don't look into people's contracts, and I thought it came off pretty well. What did you think? Yeah,
no, I'm with you. I enjoyed it. Something I forgot to mention on our last episode with Double or Nothing review. I was kind of anticipating or hoping that they would maybe make their appearance there on a big pay-per-view. I think a lot of good surprises happen at pay-per-views, or at least, for us growing up in the 90s and stuff, that was a good spot. But for them appearing the next night or the next episode of Dynamite, very cool. But I was talking to my brother, and we were both a little disappointed that they didn't, kind of play the free agent card and kind of bounce around, maybe do a one-off in New Japan or do something in the NWA on an episode of Power or Ring of Honor, kind of maybe go around Impact and challenge all these various tag teams just to kind of add credibility that we're the best tag team. We'll go around, challenge anyone. But listen, I know it's a pandemic. Not a lot of people putting on shows, and who knows, maybe the money situation's not available to go around right now. So you take the guaranteed money from a contract with AEW and immediately sign up and sign a deal with them. So I get that part. So unfortunately, maybe. Yeah, I'm not surprised that they went to AEW. I like you. I think thematically, probably their greatest fit was with the NWA as that throwback, NWA style tag team that they were. But I'm not surprised given their relationships with everybody in All Elite Wrestling. Like I thought it was just kind of formality. With everything between him and with them and Cody over the years and everything like that. I figured this was just sort of an automatic that they would end up in All Elite Wrestling. But they burst onto the scene. Now let us press forward. Like they're out of WWE. All the will they, won't they stuff is done. They're in AEW. Now let's just get back to the good stuff and let them, ply their craft and enjoy them, and hopefully no more drama. I know there's just a lot of sniping back and forth, between AEW fans and WWE fans and, talent from WWE that goes to AEW and stuff. I like both, so I'm not really so interested in that. I hope that they just focus on, being the best that they can be in AEW and helping their brand as opposed to taking shots, but we'll see. So yeah, I guess so. Then we did have the Inner Circle pep rally, which a hilarious concept. Maybe the worst picture-in-picture commercial break ever in the history of pro wrestling, though. Just what
what ill-fated timing that was. But I digress, because the real point of this pep rally was to set up Mike Tyson versus Chris Jericho. Righting the sins of a feud that started in WWE, or what are we doing here with first of all, Mike Tyson, who I've spoken about and want him to be involved in pro wrestling, came off like LeVar Ball here with how he was acting in the ring. Like he was Big Baller Brand more than he was Kid Dynamite or the baddest man on the planet. That though, just the way he was almost like grinning, like, just almost laughing through when he was supposed to be very intense. I was like, oh man, I did not think it came off the greatest. And JR was a little bit overselling it, the chaotic nature of it a little too soon there. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, one, Tyson was having trouble rip the shirt, so
very Big Baller Brand.
I was saying, kudos to Pro Wrestling Tees. When you buy a shirt from them, it's good quality stuff right there. But yeah, it was like I don't get it why he was kind of like smirking, and like he was just kind of doing whatever he wants, kind of going off script. And to Jericho's credit, he kept saying, hold on. Like he was trying to stay in character. But I think when he was legit saying, hold on, like looking around at everyone, I think he was legit trying to get the situation under control and finish out whatever they had lined up for that segment. So for Jericho as a veteran, I think he was trying to like almost like a babysitter, get everyone on the same page. So, but obviously a lot of people made the immediate connection to Tyson and Austin back in the 90s, setting up that WrestleMania stuff. And I obviously, of course, it's obviously almost looks exactly the same if you put the two side by side. It's all some people criticizing Jimbo. I'll ask you this. A lot of people were upset. It's like, oh, how dare you make a connection to an event on WWE 10 years ago? For you, do you have any issues with that? Me personally, I didn't care as far as making a connection.
No, I don't do it. If it's, who cares where it originated if it's going to get them watching your program?
Yeah.
So no, I have no issue with that. And my only issue with this segment came off is that, my guy Iron Mike sort of let me down a little bit in terms of his selling, but he'll get there. It just wasn't the greatest sort of segment that I would have hoped for him, but I am still thoroughly excited that he's going to be more involved moving forward. I think Chris Jericho versus Mike Tyson gets you that proverbial ESPN, leading off, this is Sports Center kind of deal. So I think it is a genius move by AEW, and I support them for doing it. And I support, I'm excited. Look, Mike Tyson in wrestling, it's been a natural fit for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where it goes.